So the Epstein Files contain something most people scroll past: documentation of children being subjected to deliberate sexual trauma at very specific ages. And I want to tell you why. Because it wasn't random. It was never random. There is a filter in your consciousness. Think of it like a veil, okay? Between the reality, and the reality that you can see every day, and everything else that exists beyond ordinary waking reality, okay? Most people develop the ability to see beyond the veil gradually through meditation, through plant medicine. Some people are introduced through their DNA, but also through years of spiritual practice. You build the container first, right? It's a very organic system. And you develop the capacity slowly. You maintain your sovereignty over what you perceive and when you perceive it. Trauma, specifically severe schmexual trauma in childhood, shatters that filter. Not opens it gently, shatters it. And here's what happens when it shatters. The child begins to see things, beings, other dimensions, things that most people can't perceive. They seek God in that moment because suddenly they can feel that something enormous exists beyond them and they want help, okay? Beyond what they were told is real. Many of them are diagnosed, medicated later on, told they're crazy, because nobody around them has the framework to understand what is actually, or what had happened to their perception. The filter is gone. They can't close what was broken. That is now open. Now here's the part that should make you angry. That capacity, that forced opening, makes them useful to the people who did this to them. A child with a shattered perceptual filter can be used as an involuntary receiver of information from beyond ordinary reality, without training, without protection, without consent, without any of the container building that makes that kind of perception safe and sovereign. They didn't discover this accidentally, okay? Epstein's obsession with genetics, with lineage, with bloodlines, with breeding programs, that wasn't eccentric billionaire hobby territory. That was targeted research. Specific children from specific lineages were being identified and targeted deliberately. I have my hunches about where that specific knowledge came from and who was advising that agenda, but I want to hear from you. If you or someone you know has had experiences with non-human beings providing humans with kind of information, what to target, how to target it, why certain bloodlines are targeted, I want to hear from you. Please, if you don't want to leave it in the comments, reach out to me directly. I'm documenting this seriously, and we're going to be able to figure this out. So here's what I also need to say. This is not a black and white story. Just like humans contain people who do really bad things and people who do really, really good things and dedicate their lives to healing like I'm doing, and the same goes across all consciousness types, okay? There are beings that operate from profound darkness, and there are beings that are working actively on the side of restoration and light, okay? The ones involved in something like this, if they are non-human or they were present in that network, they are likely themselves an expression of what they grew up with. Profound harm produces profound harm. As Seven always says, hurt people hurt people. That doesn't excuse it, doesn't reduce the accountability, but it means the story is more complex than good species versus evil species. I will never condemn an entire race of beings based on the actions of a faction within them. I won't do that with humans either. Okay? And I won't do it with anyone else. What I will say is this. The children in those files were targeted specifically. Their gifts were stolen before they could develop them safely. And those of us who understand what was actually done to them have a responsibility to name it clearly and to build the frameworks that help survivors understand what happened to them and what happened to their perception and how to reclaim sovereignty over it. That's what this work does. That's what this work is for. That's what Heranu is. If this resonates, share it. If you have any information, please bring it forward to me. My team is taking this seriously. The files are out, the picture is becoming clear, and we're paying attention. Okay, so I love you guys.